Hey, how's it going? And today I just wanted to do a quick video on the practical differences between a building static mesh and a building prop. And this comes into place when you're making a blueprint in Unreal Editor for Fortnite. So just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, I'll go into game mode here. Over here, what we have is one of those blocks. One of these blocks is a building static mesh, and the other one is a building prop. Do you know which one is which? And so I think part of my confusion with this whole thing is it seems like they have a lot more in common than they don't. And so it almost seems like the difference between them is subtle, but I do think there is a significant difference between them. But what is that difference exactly? It's almost like I want to say they have 90% in common and maybe 10% different. So maybe there's a difference in how they are damaged. So let me grab this. A little target practice here. Well, they kind of both went away. This is always fun in the morning. Doesn't seem to be any difference in how they interact to being blown up. Okay, so they both seem pretty tight. So there is, let me just escape out of this for a second. There was an answer on a forum about the difference between them. It was this. It said a building prop is a mesh actor whose parameters aren't exposed to the user in creative. This means you can't alter its behavior, but you can modify its size, scale, and location. And then it says, on the other hand, the building static mesh is a 3D object without animations. This is confusing just because these are straight out of, if you click that button, it's straight out of the definitions. It's just, that's exactly what it says in the definition. A static mesh is a 3D object drawn inside a level without animations. At most, it can have transform modifications that applies to the whole object. Well, the transform, that's the same as the prop. The prop is the same. If we go inside Unreal Editor here, what I've done is I've created two blueprints. One is a building prop blueprint, and the other is a static mesh blueprint. Just by looking at the blueprints, we can see that the building prop has the parent class of a building prop, and the static mesh has the parent class of a building static mesh. So that is one difference we can see between them. But if we look at the details panel between the two of them, if we look at the static mesh blueprint and just the mesh actor blueprint, I'll call it. If we look at the details panel, I did a side-by-side comparison between them. They have all the exact same attributes. The building prop has an extra one, and it's the marking. But to be honest with you, I have no idea even what that does, the marking does. I'm trying to find out, but I don't even know what the marking does. But you can see they have a lot more in common than they don't. So what did I say? 90%? Maybe it's 95%. But I want to show you what I feel like is one of the big differences, that's practical difference I noticed between them. So I think it's safe to say that they have a lot more in common than they don't. If we come in here to Fortnite and we come over here to the two cubes, here it really is the difference between them. So, I mean, that I can see. A building prop can be copied in creative mode, where a building static mesh cannot be copied. And so this is what I think is one of the biggest differences. If I, in creative mode, notice that I select the object, it's blue. And if I select this one, it's yellow. So this one, I can copy and paste it. But here, this one I can't do anything with it. So that's one big difference I see between the two of them. It looks like the prop is meant to be propagated more throughout your environment, and then the building static mesh isn't really meant to be used. But supposedly the building static mesh has more parameters exposed, but yet you can't do anything in creative mode with it. Now if I go to, let's say if I go on B, what do I have for the options here? phase, invulnerable, flight speed, grid snap, all these options, right? What do I have for the prop? It looks like all the same. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. This is just kind of what I've observed to be the differences.